Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to Monster Legends. I wanted to take the time to talk about live duels, since I finally had the opportunity to play these events about 5 or 6 times now. I've done grand duels 3 times, classic duels like 2 or 3 times as well. And so I'm just going to give you guys my thoughts. Again, this is just from playing a few times. There's probably players that have played a lot more times than me. So I just want to share my thoughts and talk about what I think about this new event. So first of all, I'm just going to be honest, I love it. I think it's fantastic. I know some players don't like the whole RNG aspect, so just to show you guys, let me start a battle. Well, actually, let me go through the available monsters. There is a list of available monsters that you can only use during the grand duels, which I think is a great concept, especially if you've never had a chance to use any of these monsters. If you were a free-to-play player that has never had the chance to use one of the Nemesis monsters, this is your chance to do so. When I first did a review on this, I mentioned that I think this is a great opportunity to really showcase skill more so than money. Right, because if you're battling someone that has like a 130 War Master Thalassa with level 10 Super Mutant runes, you're not really going to have a good chance at winning if you're a free-to-play player that maybe has a level 100 Thalassa. Maybe you do have level 10 runes. It's just really hard. But with this mode, I really do think it is about skill. Now, yes, there is a whole RNG factor, right? Where maybe you get a better monster, maybe you get worse monsters than the enemy, maybe you get better monsters than the enemies. But I still think that's fine. And I think it's especially fine because the way you actually pay for this event is through essentially these tokens, right? And there's currently none available on sale, which is fine because in order to pay, yes, you could pay gems, but you don't have to. Because if you go to the goals and if we click on daily missions, check it out. There's one classic duel token there, 2 right here, that's already 3, and there's another one when you log in, that's 4. So you get 4 classic duel tokens every single day. And how much does it cost to enter the live duel again? The classic duel token, the classic duel anyways, it only cost 4. Which means you can literally play every single day for free. And if you do manage to get 6 out of 6 wins, you get a grand duel token. And the grand duel token is awesome because that's where you get your chance to get Nemesis souls. And I think that's really what most players are after, the Nemesis souls, more so than the player avatar. Although it's cool to be a collector and accumulate all of them. So I love this concept, especially because the grand duels, aside from being able to use a bunch of monsters that you normally have never used, right? There is no cost other than just playing. For the grand duel, you have to pay 25 gems, and I've seen some people complaining that it's too much, especially if you get really sucky monsters. You don't have to pay the 25 gems. You can take your time, you can grind it out, and just accumulate the grand tokens via the classic duels, and maybe Social Point will make it available to get grand tokens now through the mazes, maybe the progressive events, like maybe the 72-hour challenge. There's just so many ways. Maybe even the daily calendar login, the very last prize could be, or one of the last prizes could be a grand duel token. And maybe we can get a bunch of classic tokens throughout the way. Because if you check, you can actually accumulate up to 30 duel tokens. So you can actually save them up if you wanted to. As for the classic duels, you can save up to 10. So it really is incentivized that you spend them often. And don't really accumulate these at least. But yeah, the grand duel tokens, you can save those up. So I really like the concept. I love the fact that you get to play with monsters you're normally not used to playing. I love the fact that everyone is limited to the same monsters, right? Yes, again, yes, I understand the RNG factor sucks sometimes, especially if you get lousy monsters, but I love the fact that you know what monsters are available, right? You can become a master at knowing what every monster does, what is their popular skill set, what are some zero cooldown skills, who has dodge area, who has this trait, who has this trait, who works with that, who has with that. I love that aspect. I love that everyone has to use level 6 runes. I love that there's no relics in the game because that would just add a whole new factor of complexity to it. So the fact that it's scaled to level 100, the fact that it's scaled to level 6 runes, like I'm pretty sure there's people out there that already have Excel sheets calculating how much damage every single monster can do, given level 6 runes, given two level 10 strength runes. I'm pretty sure someone out there is calculating all of that already. But yeah, I personally love it. And then, again, going back to Nemesis souls, I love that this is the way to get Nemesis monsters now. So you don't have to buy them anymore for real money. Anyone and everyone can get Nemesis monsters, and it'll be a grind, right? But I mean, even the War Masters are a grind, right? The War Master dungeon right now, you have to buy orbs with gems. It's a grind out. Now we can do the same with Nemesis monsters, except just via classic duel tokens and grand duel tokens. And look, with 50, you can get 25 of anyone you want, and these are probably going to be rotating. So limited to 4 purchases, get cells for Nemesis monster. Yeah, every single month there's going to be different monsters available, so you can just save up. If you really want a Zyron the Ruby, you can save up until Ruby pops up. If you want Simon the Play Carrier, you can just wait until he pops up. You don't have to buy the chests. But then the chests are a lot cheaper, right? They're 100. So if you just want to, if you're free to play and you have no Nemesis and any Nemesis monster would make you happy, you can just buy a chest. And how cool is that? So I am really liking this new concept. I hope they keep this at 100 Nemesis Souls. I think that's a perfect price. You know, that would mean if you get 12 every time, that would mean you have to win about 8. 8 times 12 is 96. Yeah, you'd have to win about 8, maybe lose 1. But I think that's cool. 600 gems. I think if you really wanted to, instead of spending 600 gems, I think you can use those 600 gems to pay the entry fee for the live duel. Because it's what, 25, so you get 600 divided by 25 you get over 20. You get 24 chances at a grand duel if you were to do that. So I think you could end up with a lot more Nemesis orbs that way, Nemesis souls, than just paying 600 for a gem. So that's what I would recommend. The grand duel concept is amazing for the fact that you can try out monsters you've never tried before. So if you end up using a monster you really like, you can try going for that monster. And then furthermore, this is the new opportunity to get Nemesis monsters. Like even myself, who did buy a Sammy and a Ruby and a Faraday, I don't have all the other Nemesis monsters, so this is a good opportunity for me. And this obviously also helps complete the books, and some of the books that involves Nemesis monsters, they have really good rewards, so that's another added benefit. And the classic duels is pretty much like a practice for the grand duel, so you can just do the classic duels pretty much as often as you like, once per day, maybe a couple more times a day, until you're ready for the grand duel. So I love it. I love this mode. I definitely think it's one of the best parts to Monster Legends. The RNG, I don't really mind. Like on one hand, it would be cool if all of these monsters were available and players had to pick their selection of 3, so everyone literally had the exact same pool, or even if it was like 20 monsters or 10 monsters and players had to pick from those 10 monsters. Like let's say every single week it rotated. Like this week is going to be these monsters. Pick your best 3 monsters, and everyone had the same monster, so then you can't really complain about RNG. Like I had a crappy selection, my selection was terrible, this and that. No, that would be cool. But also I don't mind it, right? If you've played any board game, if you've played anything at all, a lot does come down to luck, right? Like I was recently playing Risk with my friends, and you know that in that game, if you don't know, you roll a dice, you're an attacker and a defender, and whoever rolls the highest dice wins. Sometimes you just end up losing even when it's only one enemy on the defense side. So I don't really necessarily mind the RNG because, you know, everyone is playing the same game, so sometimes you'll be lucky, sometimes you'll be unlucky. So in the grand scheme of things, I think it balances out to where it's pretty even overall. So I'll talk a little about the monster selection process, what I do, what helps me. So I'll pay this 4, and let's see. Normally, I like to select monsters that have dodge area. In this case, I have 2. I have Helguden and I have O'Reilly. In my personal opinion, the first monster selection, you don't want to go with an attacker because you can probably end up getting attackers later on along the line. You want to make sure you have a denier, and especially a dodge area denier. That is amazing. So you'll confirm. So O'Reilly. On the second selection, this is where you can go with your attacker or some sort of support monster. So personally, you should never look at monsters by themselves, right? So I'm not looking at Flameron, Wojtek, and Francine Frank right now. I'm looking at who's going to work better given the fact that I already have O'Reilly, given O'Reilly's skill set, given what O'Reilly's purpose is, which is a dodge area monster that's immune to possession that can also support and deny. So that's how I'm looking at O'Reilly right now. As of right now, I'm treating him as he's going to be my main denier. So I got to think who's going to go second in the turn order. Do I want a Flameron to attack? Do I need a Flameron to attack? He has high stamina cost. I'm taking on Wang Zhao's. Wang Zhao can drain staminas. If I bring Flameron, how good am I going to be using them? At least he can't get denied. There's all of these factors I'm considering. Wojtek, he's immune to freeze. My O'Reilly's immune to possession, so you know they have some nice synergy there. Let's see. Applies freeze to one enemy. Applies shield. He can give shield, remove negative effects. Gives my whole team immunity to freeze stun. He's a really good support monster. Even though he's a tank, you know what? I'm going to run Wojtek because he's honestly a support monster. I'm going to run him, and now it's time for the final one. And now I gotta think, do I want an anticipation monster? Do I want Eotron? Eotron starts the game off with a status caster immune to control. That could really help, right? He can also do drown to one enemy, shock to all enemies, shock and stun. Ooh, that's cool. Shock and stun to all enemies. So I gotta think about what do I want to do on the second turn? What do I want to use? Having an anticipation monster could also be a really, really good thing. Right? Anticipation, there is Charmless, there is Xylas. There are other extra turn monsters, Gorg and Kane, so running someone that can do anticipation would really come in handy. So again, when you're picking your final monster, you're not just picking between these 3, you're picking between which of these 3 is going to work the best with what you already have going for you. Now, in my personal opinion, I really like to do 6 team speed builds whenever I can. So then I'm looking and I'm like, Who is better at doing 6 team speed? I know I can do possession with Volthar. I know I can do stun with this monster right here. Let me see who's faster, Volthar or 6348, 6328. So Voltar is actually faster. What about Eotron? Eotron is 3432. The cool thing about Eotron is he will give me immunity to control at the start of the battle. So the enemy, if they have single control, they're not going to be able to deny me. And that's another thing you got to consider. If you're going in the turn order, right? If you're going first in the turn order, that's awesome. You get to take the advantage. You can single deny. You can do total blind. That's really good. Single cooldown activated, I think, is really good. So there's certain monsters that stand out a lot more than the rest, but I didn't really get those monsters. So I gotta consider who is gonna be good. Normally I want to do 6 team speed. I think if I choose Eotron, however, because he gives my team immunity to control, I don't need 6 team speed. And then he has a permanent immune to possession. O'Reilly, Wojtek has a permanent immune to freeze. So I think I'm gonna be good with this team setup. So I can run this monster with team speed. Yes, he's a tank, but I don't really need life. Honestly, even if you have a Dunra or Mephisto, I don't think they need life. I think team speed is the way to go. Eotron, I'm going to give him 2 team speed. And I'm going to give him 1 strength. And again, normally I like 6 team speed. But just because I don't care about going second in the turn order, because of the immune to control, I think I can get away with Eotron running 2 team speed. And part of me even wants to do 2 strength or maybe team speed, speed, and strength. So I'm not that familiar with Eotron. Let's see what skills he can do. Apply shock to enemies, 50% chance of applying stun. It's very interesting because I've seen other monsters that have a 50% chance of applying stun, and they have a 1 turn warm up. So let's see. Deals minor thunder damage, apply shock and drown to enemies. An AoE shock and drown that isn't 50%. Apply shock and stun to one enemy. So I think it's always super important to have a single deny skill. So I like that single stun. Apply shock and drown to one enemy. Don't care for that. Don't care for that. Don't care for that. And lots of 50% that I don't care for. So I think the only skill I might actually swap out. So notice I have 2 AoEs, 1 single target, another single target. One thing to also keep in mind is Wormlad exists, Halguden exists, O'Reilly exists. You have to bring single target skills, especially single target deny, like I said. Wormlad has Celestial trait, so the stun won't necessarily help out. So I got to keep that into consideration. So I do think there's a lot of skill based involved because when you're selecting your monsters, you do have to think about, okay, I might not have the best selection of 3 monsters, but who can I potentially run into and how do I take them down? So that's something I think about when selecting monsters, also when I'm selecting a skill set. So do I need this AoE drowned? No, because I already have this AoE drowned. Do I need power plant in the seas? No, I don't, not really. And by the way, the shock, that also helps stop anticipation extra turn monsters. So I'm even good against them. So that's why I didn't bring Sting Westclaw. And honestly, I don't even think Sting Westclaw is that great of a monster. So let me see. What can I swap out? This is powerful. This I don't need. So I think, you know what? Maybe I will run the single shock and drowned. I think that could come in handy, especially against a Wormlad. So now I have shock and drown to everyone. Shock and drown to a single monster if I need a single target. I have shock and stun to a single monster if I need to deny. And I have just a powerful attack. So I think we're good there. And let's see this monster. Applies freeze and taunt to itself. This can protect my other monsters. Applies 100% shield to all allies. Removes negative effects. You always... Oh, I forgot about that. Removing negative effects is an absolute must in this game. Because there are so many DOTs, lots to deny. So removing negative effects is an absolute must. Removing positive effects from the enemy is another absolute must. Because you're going to run into Mephisto and Denra. And they start the game off with Megaton. So you need both of those. 75% shield and immunity to freeze and stun to all allies? Yes, definite also must. So if you also have a Gakora is a great monster. I'm probably going to end up making a tier list of what I perceive to be the best monsters. But let's see. Looking at everything I have to choose from, I can go with the Daze. This massive metal damage skill you don't need because I'm not an attacker, I'm running team speed. So I could go with the Daze. 50% chance to freeze everyone. I have a single freeze, right? Single freeze, 2 turn cooldown. 50% Daze, another freeze skill, 50% shield immunity to freeze stun to one ally. I don't really need this, considering I have already a skill that gives 100% shield. But you know what? It might come in handy, and I think it might come in handy more than... I have an option. I can do one of the 50% skills, or I can do this. I'm going to do this, but there are chances when 50% chance actually lands. And now to figure out O'Reilly. O'Reilly, I'm going to do... Removes positive effects from all enemies, deals moderate special damage, applies random negative status effects to all enemies, Remove positive effects. Like I said, you definitely need that. So I'm running that. Deals moderate nature damage to enemies, applies bleed and poison. This is my DOT monster right here. Removes positive effects from one enemy. Better dungeons. This is super useful for done raw. So you don't want to start off by wasting fun dungeons when you can do better dungeons. He's here to help is super good because it removes negative effects from one ally. So even if one of your allies is possessed, stunned, or something, you can remove that from them, right? So I like he's here to help. I think if I had to remove one, it's going to be One Night of Fun. And I'm going to put in the AoE stun. Single total damage reduction is also good. This one you can do without. I hate getting rid of bleed and poison, but I'm gonna keep my AoE stun. So now I have my denier, AoE stun, a way to not get frozen or stunned or possessed, and my attacker. And I have shock and drowned. And so I don't know how far, like I wouldn't consider this a top tier team, but my strategy's there. I have single target attacks, I have AoE skills. Let's try to fight, let's see how well I do. So we're taking on, yeah, 6 team speed. 6 team speed is very popular. With Psycha having such a high base speed, the enemy will be going first. Watch. And look, it doesn't matter that Sunblast is a denier. The fact that he gets to go first is a huge, huge advantage. So I just got hit with a lot of negative effects. I can do fun dungeons. But see, my accuracy is super reduced. So what should I do? Probably he's here to help on myself. Remove all those negative effects. Give myself a random effect. Cooldown protection, that's useful if Sunblast wants to single cooldown protection me. It's not going to do anything. He's probably going to do retreat and regroup or the skill that removes. Yeah, so now I can get denied. So this is why I said, check this out. Oh no, this is why I said, hold on. Applies drown to one enemy, shock and drown to one enemy. Let me try to stun Psycha. And it landed. This is why I said running immunity to freeze, stun, and possession. Oh, this is only freeze and stun. Oh, I didn't know. I thought it was everything. But this is super useful because now Psycha wouldn't be able to land it. I thought it was immune to possession too. If not, I would have denied Sunblast because Sunblast has possession. But at least I have an AoE stun. So let's land that. And there we go. Stun block, that's fine on Psycha. Let's see what I get hit with. AoE freeze won't do anything to me. Forget and stop. Immune to control. So see, Psycha is actually another top tier monster to run. She can AoE freeze. She can make your team immune to stuff. On her first turn, she can reduce accuracy so much that the enemy will probably miss. I got hit with the cooldowns activated. So removes negative effects, applies a random positive effect. I might do that. I might do this as well. Better dungeons, removes negative effects. Yeah, let's do fun dungeons. Let's try applying some stuff. Blind. Alright. I'm cooldown, so I have to recharge. This monster, I actually didn't really check the cooldown. So okay, so now I learned something. My Wojtek, he needs to have a 0 cooldown skill or 1 turn cooldown skill. If not, I'm going to be in trouble against the likes of Sunblast, against Patient Cybers, against Peersides. So that's something to watch out for. So as you do more of these battles, you'll learn, you'll see what works, what doesn't work, which is why I really like the classic duel. And again, yes, sometimes you're not going to be battling sometimes you're going to get unlucky and you're going to have a worse team than the enemy. But if you plan right, if you strategize right, you're going to end up being fine. Let's do, he's here to help on my Eotron, because Eotron gets an attack next turn. I got mirror damage. Because Eotron gets an attack next turn, I want to try to take down the enemy monster. And then here's another helpful tip and strategy. When you're figuring out who to take down, think about the monster that is the biggest threat to you. Because if you can eliminate that monster, your life will be so much easier. For me, I think it's Sunblast. The fact that Sunblast can do AoE possession or single possession, the fact that he can activate cooldowns, that's more troublesome than Psycha, right? I don't care for an AoE freeze. One of my monsters is immune to freeze. One of my other monsters has dodge area. So that doesn't really trouble me. So for me, I want to kill Sunblast as fast as possible. So hopefully next turn I can do it. So always think about who is the biggest threat. It also helps to look at the turn order and see if you can kill a monster that's next in the turn order, and that monster would have killed one of your monsters, maybe you want to take that monster down, because if not, he's going to kill you. So, recharge, and check this out. If I can kill, yes I can. So I could AoE stun everyone, but like I said, kill the monster. If you can kill the main threat, kill the main threat. So bye-bye, Sunblast. And now it just became a 3 against 2 battle. Even though they're going next in the turn order, I know they can't do much, right? Like I said, Psycha can AoE freeze. My Wojtek's immune to freeze. One of my monsters has dodge area, and actually one of my monsters still immune to freeze. My Eotron. So Psycha honestly can't do anything. I'm gonna end up winning this battle. So check this out. We just gotta hope it doesn't get desynchronized or anything. Bake eyes. Okay, he's here to help. Let me clear everything on my Wojtek. Look at this. Evasion. Love it. Underwater spark. Shock and drown to one enemy. And then shock and stun to one enemy. Does this not do any damage? Wait, what's going on? Well, let's do underwater spark. Shock and drown. Let's do freeze to one enemy and taunt to itself. See, I don't need to, like, I know she can't get frozen, but I know the DOT would kill her, so I at least killed her. So whenever you can eliminate an enemy monster, I would recommend you do it. Let me check out one thing. So Wojtek, I misunderstood. I thought it was immunity to everything, but it's just immunity to stun and freeze. Okay, that's fine. So one of the things I ran into was the high cooldowns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this with a skill that has no cooldown or one turn cooldown. So 50% chance to daze, freeze, daze, one turn cooldown over there. So even though this has a one turn cooldown, it is a 50% chance to freeze. So I'll take that in case I get hit with cooldowns activated. Eotron, is there anything you can run? 2 turn cooldown, 2 turn, 2 turn, 1 turn, 1 turn, drown 50%, and I'm fine without it. This wasn't dealing any damage, so I'll try it again and see how it works. But yeah, one successful battle. On to the next one. Waiting for opponent. So it takes, you'll always find an opponent. You have 1 minute to look for an opponent. I don't know what happens when the timer goes to 0, but normally I've always found an opponent like right away. I think a lot of players are playing the classic duels. Whenever it goes past 20 seconds, I get worried. I'm like, what's going on? But let's see. I would say also stay away from the emojis. I've had battles where I've tried to do an emote and I accidentally recharged. So sometimes during the battle, stay away from the emoji. I would recommend, especially, well, I guess in the early on it doesn't matter, but if you are close to getting your victory, I would stay away. While you're waiting for an opponent, you could actually exit out and it won't count as a battle. I don't know what happens if you're in the exit battle screen and then the opponent comes and then exit out. I don't know if that'll count as a loss. So I would just stay away from it. Wait your 1 minute. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, no opponent. That's weird. So now we find out what happens. So no contest. Literally nothing happens. Okay. So let's just click fight again. Hopefully we find someone, or else this video will end faster than it's supposed to. I wonder how long this video will be. Or is there no one playing classic battles right now? Let us exit out. So just to show you guys, you can exit out and nothing happens. In the meantime here, I have considered giving Eotron maybe 2 strength. I think he'll be fine. Alright, well let's click fight again. Or actually, yeah, let's wait 20 seconds. If I don't battle anyone, I want to show you guys something else. So 53, 52, 51, where is everyone? 49, 48, 47, 46. I guess one of the downsides to live battles is if there aren't enough players looking for a live battle, you might have some trouble finding players to battle. Although the cool thing is, if I ever do a live stream and there is not a lot of people on, you guys that are watching, the viewers, you can actually battle me. So that'll be pretty cool. Alright, so once you have your first victory, you can actually click on the little eye, and then it tells you your rewards. So for example, once you get 1 victory, you get 1 Elementium, or 1 Elemental Cell, and it goes all the way up to 10. If you get all 6 victories, you get 10. You get 5, you get 5. You get some food, you get some gold. You also get a limited time player avatar. So this means that once you equipped it, it'll actually expire in 7 days, or I think it only lasts for 7 days or something. But anyhow, these can actually stack. So if for example, if I was to get 10 of them, it would actually last for 70 days. So if you really like that avatar, you can just keep playing and winning, and you'll eventually have it. And by the way, you can exit out. There's nothing wrong with exiting out. It's not like your progress disappears. I can go back to live duels. I can go on classic duel, and you see I'm still at my 1 victory. I still have no defeats, and you can just go battle back to normal. I don't know what would happen if you try to do that in the grand duel. I imagine your progress wouldn't stay until the next week. So where is everyone? Shoot, maybe I'll exit out of the game and go back into the game. What I mean is, if you start a grand duel and it ends in 15 hours, I'm pretty sure, even if you have 8 out of 9 victories, no defeats, if you wait till next week, it'll probably reset. So don't do that for the grand duel. In the classic duel, I wouldn't do it either. I would just play through all the way, but the classic duel never disappears. Alright, and so we are back. Let's click fight, and let's see if there's any opponents. Or I don't know if they're doing maintenance or something, but I swear, it's never ever taken this long. This is very strange. This is like super strange. You know, because I can't find anyone, I'm kind of tempted to get on my baby account and do a live duel at the same time that I'm doing a live duel on here. And just fighting myself and beating myself, because what the heck is going on? And now I'm wondering, like, I wonder if players are going to be able to strategically do that. Like, just find someone to boost all the way. I guess they could if they wanted to. But yeah, I've been waiting. I don't know if there's maintenance or something going on, but I guess the video is going to end there. This had the potential to be a super long video, assuming there was a lot more victories. But no, I guess not. You know what? I'm just going to do it anyways. So, really quickly, let us transition over to live duels on my baby account, and we'll see how that plays out. So, let's click start. Let's click start. And again, we'll go through the monster selection process. Halgurian, Gorg, or Makugan. As much as I love Gorg, don't get me wrong, I really love Gorg. He's immune to freeze. He starts the game off with shock. I'm gonna pick Gorg. Oh wait. Oh no. I thought something happened, but no contest. Okay. I'm actually, yeah, I was about to pick Halgurian because of dodge area. I'm gonna pick Gorg though. I'm gonna go for Gorg. Ooh, an attacker again. This is strange. Stormbeard, wait, Stormbeard is deny, right? He can do removes stamina, removes 100% stamina. So see, right here already I'm looking at Way Anchor is good to deny the enemy on turn 1. Applies guard down to all enemies, applies bleed, and activates all cooldowns. And then cooldowns on turn 2. Let's do this. The only thing I don't like about Stormbeard right now is the fact that this has a 60 stamina cost. So if I go up against a Wang, I'm going to have to figure something out. But I don't need 2 attackers, so I don't need Stake and I don't need Makugan. Although with that being said, I think Makugan is better because Makugan does have, let me see if I remember correctly, applies bleed to all enemies, applies nanovirus to one enemy, removes positive effects. Keep in mind I said you need a skill that can remove positive effects. Metal weakness to enemies, evasion to itself, that could help me out. Deals insane, applies nanovirus to enemies. AoE nanovirus is also good, removes positive effects from one enemy. This is actually really good too. So even though Makugan is a quote-unquote attacker, I could use her as some sort of support monster. But just to be safe, I want to make sure I have Stormbeard for denial. I'll probably have a denier over here. And look, I do have another denier, a Zim. Zim also has super high stamina cost, so do I want Zim? I don't know, right? I could utilize some Freeze Hater combo with Gorg. Ingenica is pretty good. Taijin for anticipation monsters. I'm going to go with, oh my gosh. Ingenica is good because she can trade disable and remove positive effects. Taijin, however, is anti-anticipation. Gorg, however, can also remove positive effects, so I think I'll rely on Gorg for positive effect removal. Then I'll go for Taijin for anti-anticipation. I also actually really like Taijin for the fact that she can do 2 things. So I don't care. I don't care to run her as an attacker. I like Taijin because she can activate cooldowns on a single enemy monster, and Taijin can also remove 100% stamina, and she actually also has positive effect removal. Like, check this out. Activates all cooldown one enemy. So these are the 2 skills I was talking about. They're definitely worth running. Loud Outcry removes positive effects from all enemies, and then Single Outcry removes positive effects from a single enemy. So really good for Wormlad, right? Let's see what else this monster has to work with. Bleed to all enemies. So removes 50% of stamina from all enemies. I think I need that. This I definitely need. Activates all cooldowns and bleed. That's awesome. Applies guard down to all enemies. Let's see if I can run something better. Another bleed skill. Applies bleed to one. Activates all cooldowns on one enemy and single bleed. So what's better than 100% stamina drain? Honestly, single cooldown activated, then I can cooldown activate it again. So I'm not the biggest fan of the 100% stamina drain, knowing that I have a single cooldown activated. So Stormbeard I'm liking a lot just because of that. But I'm still going to keep it. Guard down would be nice, but I'm going to keep it. And then Gorg. Oh, Gorg, this is going to be tough. Removes positive effects from all enemies, applies stun and heavy water damage. Awesome. Must run. Applies double damage, evasion, and true vision to itself. I don't think I need this. The evasion is nice, but I don't think I need this. I might remove it. Underwater Bamboozle. Gives 1 extra turn. Removes positive effects from an enemy. Deals massive water damage. Applies stun. So here's a skill that even a Mephisto could get stunned by. Or a Dunraw. Let me see what else I have. Applies shock to all enemies. Sea Hater. And 1 extra turn. What else? Deals heavy. Gives 1 extra turn. Removes positive effects, another positive effect removal, and poison all enemies. So I have to think about removes positive effects, applies 50% chance of poison and drown, Sea Hater and precision. I have to think about, can I win with DOTs? And the answer is no, I can't. I don't have enough DOTs. So I like running 6 team speed when you can win with the DOT. When you can't win with the DOT, you definitely need an attacker. So I'm going to do 2 team speed, 1 strength, and I am going to run the extra turn skills, or some of them. So this I care about. I don't care about this. And I don't care. Deals moderate water damage to enemies. Gives 1 extra turn. I don't really care about this. It says target to an enemy, but I know it doesn't. I like Blunt Harpoon and I like Gatling Harpoon. So these two I might remove. I want the Sea Hater skill. Actually, maybe I don't need the Sea Hater. Let's see. Applies Drown to all enemies. Removes positive effects from one enemy. Applies Guard Down. Gives 1 extra turn. So Start with a Bang I like. So let's do Start with a Bang. And actually we'll probably keep Underwater Bamboozle. And yeah, we'll do this. The Sea Hater could be nice, but I think this is fine. And this is going to be my team. And let's click Fights. And let's see. We're going to go on my main account. Oh, I hope I don't run into battles at the same time. We're going to click Fight. I want to see if, even though I have 1 victory on one account and no victories on the other account, if they can run into each other. So, check it out. Both of them are searching. If we don't find anyone, there is some maintenance going on. What the heck? This is great. So, I think there is maintenance going on because I can't find anyone. So, I think we'll call it a day. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. If anything, you got to see my thoughts on the live stream events. You got to see, or live duel events. You got to see what I personally think, how you go about selecting a good monster, what I think about the RNG factor, and how in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. I think there always has to be some sort of RNG. In the future, they do make an event where you can select from the whole pool of monsters. That would be cool too. But I'm really liking this new mode, and I look forward to seeing any new monsters that get added, monsters that get removed. Maybe they'll make a community-based event where we can select different monsters to be in the event. There's so many different options for this. But with that being said, guys, thank you very much for watching this extremely long video. I'm Armored Gaming, and I will see you all next time.